All right, everybody, what's up? It's your boy, student Dr. Malachi Wright. And if you guys don't know already, I am a dental student at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry, more specifically, a second-year dental student at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. And in today's video, I wanted to take some time to address some of the questions that I've been getting. Also a topic that I think is really important for not only current dental students, but people who are coming into dental school as well. And that is one that's not really talked about as much in the dentistry sphere, which is budgeting, and how you should be really budgeting your money while you're in dental school, or at least how I believe you should be budgeting your money while you're in dental school, and some of the things that I do to also budget my money, and some of the things that really worked out for me. So I just want to get on here and give my 2 cents about this topic. Obviously, for those who will hopefully find some value in this, definitely try to employ it if you can. If not, that's all good. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to check out my other videos on this channel. Obviously a dental student, so I come up with dental school content that's related to things like day in the lives and all these different things that are relevant to dental students. One of the most important things that we're not taught about in dental school, or we're not taught about, or at least I wasn't taught about in my upbringing as much as I wish I would have been taught about, was budgeting. Now, if my mom watches this, she's probably going to go crazy because I thought my middle name was Budget. And all my siblings' middle names was Budget, as much as she used to budget back in the day. And that makes sense because, for those who don't know, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My mom was a stay-at-home mom because she had 7 kids. So I have 6 other siblings, and my dad was a high school teacher. So you guys can do the math on how much living costs, especially in the state of Maryland, and what our life was looking like in regard to budgeting. But some of these principles are some that I took with me, and some of them were ones that I threw away. But the big message here that I want to take home with everybody is the biggest thing behind budgeting is understanding where a majority of your money is going, right? A lot of people tend to eat out a lot, or they do a lot of entertainment things, or say they like to play video games, or they have something that they do in their free time that costs a substantial amount of money that a lot of people tend not to budget for, because we forget that we have to actually pay for these things. And it may sound crazy, but when you actually know what you do and how much it costs, and you're actually making a reasonable action, or you're being intentional about making sure that you put money to the side for what it's actually going to cost you to engage in a certain type of activity, then you'll be able to ensure that you're not going over your budget, and that you're not overall, and that you are overall under your budget for the duration of the month. I want to put a transcript on how much it actually costs to go to dental school. And I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know the exact cost it costs to go to dental school. So this is how much it cost me for my first year to go to dental school. And when you're in dental school, you get to take out something called the living expense. And the living expense is essentially going to entail everything from your bills, your rent, like things like your rent, your water bill, electric bill, internet bill, phone bill, like any bill you have, car insurance, all that good old stuff needs to be taken out from your living expense if you are not paying for it any other way. Now, there are plenty of people in my class who have like parents helping them out, or who have like saved up before they came to dental school to look at some expenses or to help with some expenses. Or you have people like me who also work a job to help alleviate some of those burdens of other experiences as well, or other expenses as well. So there are different things, and every person's scenario is different, but you got to make sure that you are aware that there are living expenses you can take out in order to make sure that you have enough money to get through dental school. So more specifically for me, I knew that I was going to have to take out at least $700 a month for my living experiences, because I wanted to make sure that I had enough money to easily pay for my portion of the rent that I split 3 ways. And I wanted to make sure that I had an ample amount of money to do that, and everything else was going to be spent from out of my pockets and how much money I made from my job during that month. The things that I love to do, if you guys don't know, I have a girlfriend, and my girlfriend and I, we do a lot of stuff on the weekends to help us de-stress and make sure that we're also staying level-headed while we're in these programs. She's in a PT school. I'm currently the only one who's working right now. She's in school full-time. A lot of the things that we do, I end up paying for just because I don't want her to have to take out any money from loans to do things outside of school. And if you're not in that position, then obviously I would suggest taking out money from your loans to make sure that you have finances to do things that are relaxing to you, like go out to dinner, go to the movies, maybe go kayaking, entry into certain parks, like put gas in your car so you can actually drive places, go out to dinners with your friends and stuff like that. So you definitely want to have enough money to put to the side to where you can do nice things for yourself. On the flip side, though, you want to make sure that you're not taking out more money than you need to, because a lot of people will get over their heads and they'll start taking out so much money and they'll be going on these crazy elaborate trips and all these things with loan money. In the state of the economy that we're in nowadays, we're at like an 8% interest rate for the Grad Plus loans that we're taking out for professional school. So with that interest rate, you're going to be looking at a lot of money it's going to cost you to get this education. So I would really be cognizant about how much I'm taking out and really strive to take out exactly what I need. This is the breakdown of how I typically budget my funds. So majority of my budget goes towards things like rent, electric bills, water bills, gas bills, and internet fees and things like that. I want to make sure that you have enough money to get to and from school and get to and from the activities that you use to de-stress. So maybe it's yoga, maybe it's the gym, maybe it's the movies, maybe it's dinner, whatever it is. However you're going to get to that location, you have to make sure you have enough money for either bus fare, for gas, or certain repairs that you may need on your cars, like oil changes, brake changes, rotor changes, all those different things that tend to come up whenever you're driving an extensive period of time. For me, I budget enough to where I can afford to get the parts, because for those who don't know, I do all the work on my cars, my car, my girlfriend's car. So you want to make sure that you have enough money to pay for those emergencies that they pop up or if they come up. So things that are considered emergency would be something going on with your car. Maybe there's an emergency where you drop your phone and it's completely shattered and you need to get the screen repaired, different things like that. I try to budget at least close to 10% of however much money I make for the month. So this will probably be around like $100 or maybe $75 a month towards those expenses to make sure that I have an emergency fund saved up for anything that may arise. For those who are taking out money strictly from loans, I would say put to the side about $75 to $100 a month just for something that's coming up in an emergency. So that way, once you have at least like $1,000 saved up in an emergency fund, you don't have to continue adding to that, because any emergency probably won't be more than $1,000 while you're in dental school. And if you feel like there could be a potential emergency that's more than that, then I would add more to that until you get to the amount that you believe is a safe amount. The leisure, right? Leisure is definitely a big thing in dental school, and so is food too. So I think groceries is where a majority of my money goes. Within a month, my girlfriend and I probably spend about maybe $150, maybe $200 on leisure. This includes things like going out to get ice cream, or going out to dinner, or going to the movies, or like going on a hike to a state park, or different things like that. Like those things add up over the course of 30 days. So on average, I'm probably spending around $150 to $200 on that. So you want to budget that into however much you're taking out for the year. All right, my bad, y'all. I had to turn that AC on. It was getting too hot, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. But in addition to budgeting for things like leisure, you also want to make sure you have enough money to pay for things like groceries. And groceries are a major expense, especially if you are eating like a healthy lifestyle, I guess you can say. Now, a lot of people in my class, they will take out enough money to where they can buy like Uber Eats every day, and so that they don't have to worry about grocery shopping or anything like that. And for many of them, they live in the city. So if you haven't heard of a food desert, then I would suggest you to look it up. But a food desert is essentially a place where there's not a major grocery store within like a few miles of where you live. And unfortunately, Baltimore has multiple food deserts in that specific areas, and it can be a little hard for you to find places for you to get groceries. So a lot of them eat out food a lot. And certain people have like people helping them out to pay for lunch and stuff like that, like parents or whatever. But if you're taking that money out in loans, then you need to make sure that you're allocating at least, I would say, maybe $30 a day for that food, or $20 a day, or whatever much it may be, to make sure that you have enough money to eat every single day if you are going the route of ordering food every day. I would say, for in terms of financing and budgeting, you definitely want to make sure you can go to a grocery store and meal prep your food for the week. So typically, my girlfriend and I, we spend about $100 to $120 every week on groceries. So for me, that's around maybe $400, $500 a month that I'm spending on groceries. And that's a pretty good price, thinking about what we eat. So we pretty much eat really healthy foods. A lot of our foods are organic foods and different things of that nature. So my girlfriend really makes sure that we have a grocery list that is conducive for my fitness goals and her fitness goals. And we go and we get those groceries, and then we meal prep the food together. So I want to make sure that you have a plan of action when you're thinking about how much you want to spend on groceries, what that looks like for you, if you're going to order out food majority of the time, or if you're going to meal prep food. And one thing you'll find, that if you meal prep food, then it will likely be cheaper than it would be if you went out every single day. So my plan for the next couple of years is to maintain exactly what I'm doing right now. A good portion of my money is also going towards saving up for my girlfriend and I's wedding. And thinking about paying for like engagement rings and paying for things like wedding venues is super expensive. So if that's something that's on your radar, then I would say, like, try to save for it as much as you can. But again, once you get out into the profession, you can also just wait until then till you have a little bit more cash flow. But overall, that's pretty much my budget for this first year of school, and I think that has been working out for me pretty decently. I would say that overall, I have about $800 a month that I'm taking out in loans, and then any additional money for my overall groceries, leisure, and things of that nature is coming from the job that I'm working for my girlfriend and I. So overall, hopefully somebody found this video helpful. If you guys have any more questions about budgeting in dental school, what that looks like, how much money you're going to be able to take out every single year, definitely reach out into the comment box below, and implement a lot of these strategies you guys can use to make sure that you're budgeting efficiently. One of the things that I would recommend is, if you have a lump sum of money sitting in your account, like when they give you your money back for school, it's going to be around, like, maybe, depending on how much you take out, like $10,000 for the semester for living expenses, or $12,000 for the semester for living expenses, or something like that. You want to put that money into a high yield savings account. So that way, since you're not using that money like immediately, and you're going to be using it over the course of 6 months, you're getting some form of return on that money since it's just sitting. So I'm not sponsored by them, but I would recommend a company that's at least giving you 4% or closer to 5% of money back. Again, this is not financial advice, but I'm just telling you from my experience. I typically bank with Bass Bank, and they've been giving me a good APY on my investment. So I would use them as a high yield savings account. If you find any other resources, if you have any other resources, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. But let that money build some interest, so you can grow at least maybe $50 or $60 within the course of 6 months, so that you have some finances coming from that. But then overall, once you have that done, you want to make sure that you're staying consistent, setting goals for yourself based off of how much you want to be spending every single month. So write it down in a journal, write it down in a notebook, or type it out. Make sure you have a hard set on how much you need to be spending, so that way you're not over budgeting and you're not overspending whenever you have money that you get back. So that way you're not running out of your money by the time you get it. So come up with a plan, come up with a strategic list of how much you want to be spending, especially if you're a person like me who is really on a tight budget. So you got to make sure that you have a good amount of money to make sure that you can stay on top of your bills, and come up with that plan, and that plan should work for you if you plan accordingly. So Again, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope somebody found this video helpful. If you did, please don't hesitate to hit that like button. Make sure you send this video and this channel to other people so that they can continue to get this good content and some great information here. I truly appreciate all the support from all of you all. For all the pre-dents out here who are studying for the DAT right now during the summertime, keep working hard, keep up the great work, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.